That's right. Carry a big stick, right? Yep. Yep. Don't know what happened to Dick, he didn't know. Something happened to him.
All right, folks, I'm sorry. I'm running late. Yeah.
Parachute,
Everybody, welcome to the meeting. And let's see. Eddie Blazer gonna have a prayer for us. He's from Church of God in Unicorn. Fine fellow. Yes, sir.
Dear kind and gracious Father, we come to you today and thank you so much for your tremendous love and grace toward us today. Lord, we just pray today that the proceedings of this meeting will be acceptable in your sight. Lord, we just pray for each person. Father, we give you praise for all you're going to do. In Jesus' lovely name, amen.
Amen. Okay, Mark.
Attention, salute, and pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now, folks, you remain standing. We'll have a pledge to Tennessee flag. Charles, would you like to lead us in that?
Sure. 3 white stars on a field of blue. God keep them strong and ever true. It is with pride and love that we salute the flag of Tennessee.
Thank you. That's something where if we say it long enough time, we're gonna memorize it. Okay. Cynthia will call roll.
Alderman Day.
Here.
Alderman Lemon. Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Vice Mayor Radford.
here.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes, sir. All right, do I hear a motion?
Excuse me, Mayor, before we get started, those, on new business, item 11A, ordinance 2026-347, I want to make a motion to withdraw that ordinance.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seth?
Hold on, let me write all this down.
Okay.
Alderman Day.
Yes.
Alderman Lemon is absent. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford.
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? Is there any discussion?
Alderman Day.
Yes.
Alderman Lemon is absent. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford.
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, opportunities, previous request. We've got Cindy Shelton wanting to talk about Winlock Lane.
Let's go here. First of all, I want to thank you for your time and listening to me today. My name is Cindy Shelton, formerly Cindy McKinney, and I'm here to talk about our road on Winlock Lane. We've owned the property at 150 Winlock Lane since 1991, October 1991. At that time, it was a rural route number, of course. We purchased the land from Dallas Cook and built a home and moved in on March 6th of 94, so it's been almost 32 years. And the problem with it is the road. The Dallas Cook owned the property, that's who we bought it from. And after he had it paved, the county took over the road from the bottom, from Unicoi Drive all the way to the top of the hill, to the left just a little ways where the pavement stops. And we have not requested anything to be done to the road. It's in terrible shape right now. Right before Christmas, we had a truck come up there. There was, the police were called to, they're aware of it. But we had a dump truck come sliding backwards, that was going up there because the road's just deteriorated a lot. Nothing's been done to it in 32 years. So, there's currently 3 property owners, myself and my husband. He's at work tonight, he couldn't be here. And there's another lady, Marie Williams, that has a home. And then there's a gentleman that owns the rest of the property. He has some kind of cabin or building on top. There's not a home, but some type of structure is up there. So there's 3 property owners, and we all use the same road to go in and out. There's no other way to go in and out of the property other than that hill. And I'm just asking if somebody could look at it and possibly get it repaved, because it's been so long and it really is in poor shape. You could go out there and look at it. There's big holes, there's cracks, and just really the pitch of it's not right, but I don't know if anything can be done about that. It's very steep at the very top. It's not gradual, so if it's icy or anything, vehicles start to slip back. And the problem is at the bottom of the hill at 5101 Unicoi Drive, there's a home, and that hill comes down, and what almost happened the other day is the dump truck was tipping over towards that house. So it's dangerous. And as we're getting older too, I worry about emergency vehicles getting up there. God forbid, I don't want them to come up there, but a fire truck or ambulance or anything like that, I worry about that, being able to access that to help anybody if we needed it. So, we've been paying taxes there all that time, and I've never asked for anything. The road gets salted and paved occasionally. Usually I have to call to ask somebody to come. We've missed work because of it, because it's an afterthought, because I know the main roads have to be done first, but we can't go anywhere if it's not done. So, when it gets real icy and stuff. Let's see. But there were 4 instances that hill's been a problem like that with vehicles, going back, sliding backwards and almost jeopardizing that property, that home, getting right on the edge. One time my ex-husband went over and he went off the right side into those trees, but if you go into the left side, that's where that home is on that road. So it's 5101 Unicoi Drive is the property at home I'm speaking of. So, I think that's pretty much all I was trying to get at. One more thing. The 2 homes that are on Shady Lane, they adjoin our property at the top where our house is, okay, at the top of the hill, Shady Lane. And since I've lived there, that road has been repaved twice. And our road has not been the county hasn't done it once because Dallas Cook did it the first time before the county took it over. So, and they didn't take over all the way to our driveway, just to the top of the hill and a little bit to the left, so we get up in a flat area. So I'm not asking about the whole road, just that hill coming off Unicoi Drive on the Windlock.
Okay.
So if anybody could look at that, we would really, really appreciate it.
Okay.
Consider doing something with that.
That's fine, Sandy. We don't know unless you tell us.
Right, I know, that's why I'm
And we
here.
take pride in feel, people feel like that they can come and tell us what they need. And we'll look into that.
Okay.
We're trying to work on the roads and stuff, and we appreciate you being here.
Okay.
And don't wait till you need something to come back. You come back in. All right, let's see. We're gonna call on Terry Haynes next. Y'all might know him, he's road superintendent.
I'm glad for that introduction, so I don't have to do that.
There you go.
Hallelujah. I'm here on account of the issue over the contracts and the city of Unicoi about the mowing and maintenance and stuff like this. First of all, let me say, I'm not doing this to be mean or whatever, I just don't have the manpower to do anything anymore with it. And the issue was, on the contract we had was doing the 4 roads, which was Marbletown, Unicoi Drive, Zane Whitson, and Whispering Pines. But when we got them done, we was asked to fall in and do all the side roads. By the time I do all of them, get your alls done, then I gotta move to Limestone Cove and do all that up there. By the time I get there, then I'm gonna have 2 tractors back on the south end of trying to get all of that in. It was brought up into a county commission why it was taking so long to get back up there to do that, and I explained to them. So the issue come up that we felt like, it would be a good time if you all could kind of maybe look into getting a bush hog and trying to negotiate another contract on trying to let us do the 4 main, and I've got 3 commissioners here tonight, and I'm just speaking for myself, and still have to go in front of the county commission. To do the 4 roads, just those roads, which we could bush hog, get them in and get them out, and then let you all do the side roads. Let your men do that, which you would have to hire more employees. I mean, that's just obvious, you'd have to hire more employees. But, and you have an issue with the stuff out on Unicoi Drive out there, it's called that old Johnson grass, a lot of you probably know what it is. I mean, you can mow it today and get warm rain, in the morning you get up, it's 6 inches tall again. So it really has a problem. And we tried spraying, so we got hit in the face by spraying because there's a lot of beekeepers. So that was definitely a no-no. That 1 year done me. But that's what I'm here tonight to see if something can be worked out and try it and see what happens. Maybe another year on doing this, let you all try to purchase some bush hogs and hire some labor to operators to do that. Y'all actually need 5 people. 5 more employees. You've got to have some flagons. You've got to have, stuff put out. And I checked some prices on some bush hogs. The John Deere M9560s is $105,245 a piece on those. The one that's got the 18-foot boom long arm, it's $139,635. Now that's not a bid. I mean, it would be cheaper if you bid it out. That's what it's sitting on the lot at. That's what it would be. So if you get that government entity thing, it's usually about 15 or 20% off of that if you let it out for bids. You don't have to get John Deere's, they get different ones on. But that's the way it looks. I don't have the time to come in. Of course, Hurricane Helene has just destroyed us, me anyway. Everything we've got damaged that way. But if you all could kind of look into that, I think me and Kevin, we discussed a little bit of it down there at his place. And all, it's definitely a problem for me. And I mean, been 94, you became a city and you had to rely on help and stuff. And of course, I understand you got elephant here you're trying to have to take this kitchen, you're trying to pay for that. I understand that by all means, and it's it's about money, and time. But if you have any questions, I'm not doing this to be mean or out of anger. I don't have the manpower, and I'm trying to take care of this. And you all got, I think it's 63 miles of road in the city to take care of. And that's a big territory. By the time you go up one and down the other and Whispering Pines, and, it's sad. Most of the people that live in Whispering Pines, I think they go over, Roger lives over, I think they go over the back way down into Washington County, don't you, Roger? They use that road, but still you have a lot of Unicoi County citizens. I mean, and it's you don't want to leave nobody hanging. There's a lot of innocent people that suffers over not being able to see, not being able to get out, and not being able to work and everything. And everybody pays land taxes, Everybody pays them.
And Terry, too, you think that you can continue with the 4 big roads?
Yeah, I would like, if the county commissioner, and try it, once you get your bush hogs, let me sign a contract for a year to try to see if that works out and help. I think that I could work it, if I could just do those roads, not have to deviate off, clean ditches or whatever, just get in and get out on those.
And two, we've had a lot of complaints about the mowing. You know what I mean? And it's a time thing.
It is.
I mean,
It's
the
very
time you cover all those roads, it's time.
It is.
And, you got to, but, like I said, we had a good conversation, and tonight, that's one thing we're gonna bring it up, is about equipment. Of course, we'll put bids out and do the best we can on that, and, it's just something that's been neglected, like the roads and everything else, and I appreciate you being here. I thank the commissioners for being here. I think that they're gonna represent us, and let's just get the facts out. You know what I mean? If we can deal with the facts and have communication, then we'll solve it. It's not a problem, it's just something that needs to be done.
And I checked into some issues with you, John, because you're gonna have Unicoi Drive's gonna have to be paid for. Marbleton's gonna have to be paid. You got that Zane Whitson's gonna have to be paid. Right now, the only opportunity you have, if you just don't have enough in it, the city of Irving, they don't have, I checked in on TML to see if they got any, and they borrowed their money. They have to borrow money to do their pay. They borrow amount on a low interest rate, and Tim said you'd be free to call him, and he could tell you and explain how they have to do that. But they don't get no help out of TML, they don't get no help out of the state, and it was actually looked into, maybe trying to get this on state aid. And the lady at Nashville, she said there's no way that you can use state aid money on those roads. Even you're taking care of them, you cannot use state aid money on those roads. So it actually falls back to the city from. So you're looking right now at probably at about $150,000-$60,000 a mile for paving. That's what you're looking at on getting roads paved. So measure that road from Ike's trailer thing back to Wiseman's. It figures out, just a rough estimate, figures out about $7.2 million to do that. I mean, $1,072,000.
Yeah.
And then Marbleton's just a little more than that, because it's got a loop in it, it's a longer road. So that's what you're gonna be up against. I mean, if you don't do it, and once it deteriorates and loses, it's like this lady said, once it goes so long, it costs you more and more and more.
Right. And it's just like on the mowing thing, everything happens for a reason, and if we can pull this off on the side roads, then we'll have our own people out there, and it'll be a connection with the citizens, with the residents.
And when
You know what I mean? Where they'll say, well, that's our town doing that, and it'll be more of a personal touch.
Well,
So, I mean, it's
gonna be a city, you're gonna be a city,
Yeah.
That's the way it hit you. Barring off of Peter pay Paul sooner or later, it's run out. It's been what, 35 years? And we've managed, but now things are different. It's things. But I think, and by all means, we had some people come to county court and they thought it was interested in just resolving the county, and that's not so at all. There have been none of the 9 commissioners ever mentioned about trying to resolve the city of Unicoi. Matter of fact, they told them that they wanted to see them prosper out here. They would like to see it.
Well, Terry, that's the reason we vote. The citizens need to vote
Yeah,
for what they
you
want.
know, and Tim Bailey, I talked to him, and he said he'd be more than glad to come back out and try to set up a street department the way if you needed him to. He said, he'd be more than glad to come out and talk to you about how they have to do their stuff out there. It's gonna be costly, yeah, it's gonna be costly. I don't know what you have in your budget or in your reserve, and that's none of my business, I don't know. But I do know the more you pay down, the less you gotta finance. Right. And like on these grants, you can get grants to buy this stuff with. You can get grants to get some of this stuff with on a low interest rate. Some of them's out there like 1%.
And it's gonna work out.
But I will promise you all this. If you have a disaster out here, a blizzard, if you have a flood out here, I'll be the first one that pulls in this city hall. I've had Carter County do me the same way. I've had Greene County come do it this way. I'll have Washington County to come in. We have a mutual working agreement during the disaster that we can go from one county to the other. Our insurance covers us. We don't have to worry about not being covered with insurance. And then if the state, federal ever pays anything, then we pay them back. If they don't, well, it's wiped out. And the cities does the same thing. There's always, there's plenty out there stuff to do, but you gotta have somebody can write grants and do it and get out and look and go to them. I mean, go to these trade shows. I mean, you got people, vendors there that they'll bring these things out and let you use them. They'll train you, but it's finding the operators. That's my problem. I had a guy to walk in on the job down there, and I said, yeah, I need an operator. What you do? He said, I can run bush hog and run tractor now. He said, but I won't be filling papers at less than $30 an hour. I just hand them back to him because I can't pay that. You know, I can't pay part of my people $20 an hour, and then the stranger come in and pay him $30 an hour. It just don't work. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out here that run bush hogs, and Tony and them does a fantastic job of what they've got to do with it. And you just had that little backhoe, track hole, dump truck, and bucket. I never heard the first call. And they kicked it right up and kept it going. They get away from Seth, they could do a lot more. Just don't, yeah, just don't go to White Cove on a shiny day. But I'll try to answer any questions I can if any of them have any questions, but let's.
What about that snow removal?
We'll be here. I mean, that'll be on this 4 miles of road, that still sticks with, so if we can negotiate with the other county commissioner to try this, let's try to write a contract up for a year and see how it works. You know, once you get online with the bush hog, get to start doing that, then see where it goes and see how fast it goes. Once you get the hang of it, you got 4 or 5 workers here, and once they get the hang of it, you probably just do it all on your own, you know.
Well, we're just picking up on a lot of things now, it's been neglected.
Yeah.
You know, it's all a learning process.
Oh,
I can just real quickly from the commission's perspective, definitely we'll go back and have conversations with the other commissioners. We probably need to have some significant conversations with Terry to ensure that if we were to enter into any type of mutual aid or mutual contract, that the concerns that it expressed, especially from the first district and the second district, are met, which is making sure that all of those properties are taken care of at the time.
Correct.
So that would be one of probably the biggest questions that we ask of us, and that we ask of Terry, is ensuring that there's some clearly defined boundaries as to what exactly will be serviced here, and making sure that doesn't impede on the services provided to the other districts.
right. And then too, when you sign into this contract, instead of deviating out of it, if it goes through, then we would have to simply stick to that contract, am I right?
Yeah, if we were to go through that, that would probably be one of the major stipulations of ensuring that it is very narrow scope to ensure that Terry's team is able to do all of the county, and not just portions of the county. So we would definitely want to make sure that those are in there. But I can't guarantee, what the other commissioners will say. But certainly we'll present the case and hear from Terry when that time comes.
The interlocal agreement, we voted on it last month or last. We voted on it, it goes to the end of June.
Yeah, it
So
goes to
the interlocal agreement is still in effect currently and will remain in effect until the end of June at least. That's where it stands right now. It's not like it's done right now. It's still in effect currently and will remain in effect until the end of this year.
Yes, sir.
But it will take a couple months to get through the process, so, for me to do a contract, get it to the county attorney and everybody, it's gonna take time, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be a time soon. Like I said, there's other commissioners, they're just here to represent your district out here. I asked them to come, of course, they're here, and they're here on behalf of me, but on behalf of you over there. Like I said earlier, there's nobody ever asked us to dissolve, try to get the county or the city to come back to the county. If you got a good thing going out here, if you wanna be a city, you're gonna have to be a city. It's just obvious, you're gonna have to buy equipment.
Would you still be interested in doing projects for us if they arise?
I'd rather stick to the contract we're talking about, just on the 4 roads. I mean, you got 2 great guys that can run, I've seen them run the track holes in this later, but you just got 2 men, 62 miles of.
But I'm not talking about that specifically, I'm just talking about like if a drain tile needed to be installed between now and July, would you guys be interested in bid on that, or do we need to get somebody in?
I'll get somebody else to bid on it, after this. But now, get on the, I want, what I'm trying to say is, if I can push hard door roads, main roads, and keep, I'm contract on the snow removal. I think if they agree, and if we can do this, I think I can handle that. That's the only try it one year and see if it can work, see if we can do that.
See, just an example I've got for you, we've got a drain tile that we need to install down on Massachusetts Avenue. And I'd like to be able to contract you guys just to do one more to show Tony and Mike kind of how you guys do it, how you install drain tiles. So that they get some hands-on training, of course, we pay you for the project, just like we would any other time. And this is what, I'm talking about now, not after June, I'm talking about now. Contract you with just one time, just to kind of show them exactly how you do it.
So you think we need to get that from the contract?
So, I mean, that would be ultimately a your decision.
Yeah, I mean, that's no difference in anything else that the contract we do out here in my.
I'm glad to do it.
Okay.
Just don't do it smart.
Okay, yeah.
Larry, I know you probably know Joe Brandon very well, Washington County Mayor. and everything.
Yes, sir.
I'm speaking to Unifor Drive.
Right.
Everybody in this room should know what happened to Unifor Drive between my place and especially Dave's, I know you're on this access road. But Joe made the statement that he had someone keeping up with the damage that these trucks caused. And whether FEMA was gonna go back and help him, or he's been left standing in the middle of the river, or whatever. But I think somebody needs to call Joe and talk to him. I've been to Joe's office before and talked to him on different subjects. But by him making that statement and everything, and I know Seth told me that FEMA would not help us on Unifor Drive, I understood that correctly.
Yeah, you got to, I know what you're talking about, and I'm in the same situation my county does. Yeah, whenever we had that meeting, when the meeting hit, we were promised the Rose Garden in December. They wrote toward all pieces, and I confronted them, they said, the contract is no good to us, we're out of here. So we got NRCS to come in and help shore up river banks and creek banks. Then, if I can't get no help from the state on anything, I'm having to, I have to do all the pay.
On the other side of the coin now, why don't y'all go after CSX? Irwin's not a railroad group.
CSX did not have a contract signed with the citizens in Newport County. They're an individual organization, they did not, they hired their own contractor, which is A to Z or whatever. They took the whole 9 yards, they paid $1,500,000 a week.
Yeah.
Do that. But they tore our roads all to pieces.
But if it had been for them, they, those trucks wouldn't have been in here. I know what the flood did.
Well, Washington County, Greene County, Carter County, they're in the same shape as you was talking, the same shape. The only difference is, I'm capable of doing my road with my paver. I can do my road, but I have to take it down my road.
Yeah.
Unless I can get some help from the state. Whenever you all came to city out here, Unicorn Drive was on state aid, Marbleton was on state aid, Western Pines was on state aid, St. Winston was on state aid. And when you just came to city, that was taken away from us. That was done away with. You can feel back, just like the city of Earth. That came off of it. That's the same way with the bridges. State aid bridges out here, feel back to you all. But now on that grant that I was telling you about the city gets out there, all it will cover on their part is sidewalks, guttering, drainage gutter and stuff like that, that's all they can use that GBC grant for in the city. They can't use it for anything else but that. There's so many restrictions on this federal and state money. It's not like it used to be back 30 years ago. You could come out and do something. It's all monitored now through national. Every penny that comes in, we gotta make it count. Hey, Mark.
Of course, I don't live in Newport County anymore, I'm just listening to being in the construction business. If I go into a place to work like that, and I'm gonna interfere with any kind of municipality roadway, I've got to post a bond. Right. Why did the railroad not have, I know all this happened in a hurry, and everybody's concerned about everything else, but why don't they not make post a bond, a retirement bond, to fix these roads out there? They told them that, they was, I know they're their own entity, but they hired me. Students that back construction academy. They should have been made most of all. Fix these roads, it's not a handshake. We all know how that stuff goes.
Yeah, and that first meeting we had, they promised us a road starting in December, said, now, oh, we're gonna, if we tear up the road, we're gonna pave all these roads that goes around this and that. If the county doesn't have a deed to a road like Red Banks Road, everybody knows where Red Banks is. That road was over 1,100 feet long. When that, when we went to get money off it, to try to get it fixed, they only really fixed 200 feet of it. I said, why? We've always done, I said, I've been in this for 40 years. I said, what's wrong? He said, you cannot produce a deed that you own on that county road. As far as working sign, after that 200 and some feet, it's a private road. So I said, you mean if I go and fix that, I'm working illegal? And they said, yes. So we have people out there that we're trying to figure out how to get in and out. They have no way, they're having to go through a cow pasture to get them out. We can work 200 feet, that's as far as we can go. So that's like it is, going out to Jones's Branch, Big Bracken, we're covered from the park, when you get off Chest Story through the park, out to the trust, where we can work. All the way out through. They said they didn't have a deed. So the Forest Service says, yes, you do have it. We gave you it. Federal will not acknowledge that. They will not acknowledge it. We're running into that all over the county. They said we should have went out and got contracts. I mean, we got deeds signed and easements signed there. I said, well, we work off a uniform highway law. Every road we take care of, our county commission votes on it every year, correct? That's our road, that's supposed to be our road, just like this lady right here, she's talking about Windlaw. I remember when that was fixed and went through that. It was a county road up to where the pavement ends. Now, it's county, it won't be because there's not a deed, you all don't have a deed for that road, you can't prove that road's yours. So that's the way it is all over the whole Unicode County. There's never, and actually, when I went to one person and told them this was a county road, and they said, no, it's a private road. Went back, the neighbors on the other side, they drilled holes in the center of the road and put a fence in. This happened about 10 years ago. Guy came home from work, tore his truck off face, he went over the post. He put it up, because he said it was private road, that was on Zach Whitson Lane. That was it. There's, and no other road. My understanding was when they accept that highway law and we work that road, gas taxes go in it. We don't use land taxes to build no road, it's strictly gas taxes. We don't build roads with land taxes. That, where we maintained that so many years, it was supposed to be grandfathered in. We maintained, never had no problem. This bunch come in here, Mr. Ennis talking about, tore them up and we had to fix them. And then Federal started coming in, wanting to know where all the deeds and all that stuff. So if you ever have a disaster out here, and all these roads that used to be county roads, is on that road list that you all have, you're going to want to be able to work off that right of way. So far, it's another 20 foot. It's something you need to look into. Bringing this up to you tonight, you need to look into it and see. The county attorney needs to help and try to find out if you're legally bound with that uniform highway law. And I'm sure he said he could just about tell you tonight if he's bound for it. Like Mark says, anytime They should put a bond up.
If you go and put a performance bond up, you're gonna be anywhere near municipality road. I'm surprised somebody let that stuff through the railroad, because you can't do business like that anymore with those folks on the handshake. Those days are gone. And I'm surprised that that slipped through somewhere.
He and I both drove over tracks, so across town. We had to have bonds when we went in and out, we had to have insurance to cover the damage to that road. Anyway, have any more questions? I'll be glad to try to answer them. But like I said, we'll get with our county, list of them and see what they think about it and see what they want to do.
Well, Terry, did you say you were still gonna do culverts for us, put in drain tile?
Yeah, he's wanting me to put that one more in for him.
And that's
Show
it?
Tony Mike how to do it.
One more?
Show Tony Mike how to do it.
Yeah. We'll leave that on the road up there and then take them down there. That's what I'm talking about. We'll add that addition onto it. That's a long story, but no, we'll help them get them out.
Terry, we appreciate it.
Like I said, if you have a disaster, flood,
Yeah.
whatever, I'll be here.
Well, we'll know more about what we're up against now, and what we're prepared for.
And like I said, you can call around, I can give you my connections down Nashville, that lady, she can come out and talk to you, she can tell you how you need to bid this stuff. You might not need that big a bunch, but I guess Tony can say 18 foot, that you need to reach, you not need to reach on the road banks, at least 18 foot long, or make all that a lawnmower.
But you know, I still say that somehow the county needs to step up, and we're a town, we'll do whatever we need to survive. But you know, we send a lot of property taxes to the county, and we get a dump for it, and that's what we get. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's law, and I'm not whining about it, it's just, everybody needs to be aware of that. You know what I mean?
I just know that I don't get very little of it, and that's where
Yeah.
like I can, but now that's something that the commissioners would have to address you too, with what it's used for and how it's used and what's done.
But I mean, that's
out there.
part of the facts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is, you know, over $2 million of our property taxes, that, you know, then it really don't give us an incentive to fill this place full of houses. I mean, you know what I mean? If we were in it in partners, you know, and you said, okay, the more you send in, the better we can do. But, you know, that's where a lot of people are with it, and I just want to be honest about it.
Well, I know what you're talking about, I think.
Yeah.
Another thing, it's nothing, if you had a city tax, I'm just saying, if you had a city tax like that, would that help? Would that offset what you all are needing done? It would offset what you need about buying equipment and stuff, you know, but I think that would be something that you would have to. think
Yeah, but it
about.
still don't take away the fact that we send over $2 million to the county. And every house that's built will go to the county. You know, a lot of people don't understand it. They come in complaining about their property taxes. I said, you can't take it up with the town because we don't get it. You know what I mean? And they don't understand it. So it's just part of the facts. As we work along, the more facts we have, the people are more satisfied, you know, when they know the detail. I mean, and that's what we're trying to do in this town. And it's really helped because we've had a lot of people come out. We invite people to come out and tell us what's on their mind about the roads and that sort of thing. And we're going to try our best to take care of each and everybody because everybody's respected and represented. But, you know, that's just to put the end to it there, you know, it's like, and I know you're going to do what you can, but I understand the mowing, all the side roads, it's a time thing. It's a world time.
And, you know, more people's moving in, more roads gonna move.
Yeah.
They're gonna come now, they're gonna say, what can we do to get our road on the road list? There's stipulations, gotta have so much done, so much gravel, so much base, so much this and that before. Then it's gotta go back to the county or the city commission, get voted on what they accept, but they gotta maintain that. Our real thing is, they've got to do all that, they've got to maintain it for a year, but then come back to the county court, to see if they accept it as a county.
And you know, like you talk about people moving in, I talked to people and we have a lot of land for growth. And I think the county needs to step up and recognize us as a town and work with us on what we see as far as taxes. You know what I'm saying? That's,
What would you like to see? Like specifically, what would you like to see?
well, that's something I think we need to just sit down and work out the details. You know what I mean? Because really, we have a lot of property, we can have a lot of growth out here.
Right.
And I think that's something we need to sit down with the commissioners and just work out, if we have work done, we have to pay for it, then, maybe we have a different rate. You know what I'm saying? Or if we need help with certain things, because we're going to continue to send more and more property taxes to the county. And people don't understand it, Cody. I mean, they come in and they complain about property taxes. And I said, do you know where they go? Well, no, I pay them. I don't know where they go. And that's just where we're at with it. And everybody needs to have that knowledge. So I think there's room to work with it if we all work together and everybody just come out, positive. And there's no hostility or anything. It's just get the facts out there and let people decide for themselves what's right. So, you'd be surprised how many people ain't got a clue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They complain about their property taxes. I say, hey, town don't have anything to do with it. Right. And I tell people, I said, I'll talk to you about it, but I invite you to come and talk to me. But it's going to be a pretty lengthy conversation. Yeah. It's not just like that and then that's it. So, but I appreciate y'all working with us. And I hope you continue to, support us and represent us. Because really, we've got a great part of the county here. You know what I mean? We're rural, we don't have a lot of traffic, we don't have a lot of crime. If you have a heart attack or fall off a house, we're right here at all the professionals. We get this hospital in and we grow, because there's no big growth. It just needs to be managed growth. Growth comes in with an expense. And we're going to, it's a learning process. Right. You can't step in knowing it all. It's just like this mowing thing. Terry's weaned us off these side roads for now. And it's for a reason. He can't handle it. We have to step up and take care of it. And it's going to turn out to be probably it's going to turn out to be a good thing for us. Yeah. It's going to be more personal. When our maintenance people go out, people's going to see them out there. They're going to say, that's our town working for us. They have a complaint, they can call, and there you go. Tony, they take care of the streets. There's ever an issue, it's a call, it's took care of, and people move in here, they said, we're not used to that. Where we come from, you can call, but it's like calling the FBI or something. You know what I mean? So this is an atmosphere we want to keep, and we're going to move on with it. It's going to be better than it's ever been. That's I'll push. Thank you, Terry.
All right, thank you all.
Yeah. Okay, is there any more citizens or comments? Okay. Old business. Okay, next up we got ordinance 345. This is second reading, and this is on the budget to where Massachusetts and the house on Parsons Street wasn't finished up in time. So Seth, would you like to explain that?
Yeah, it's just where our grant funds weren't received in the fiscal year 24-25 fully for the Parsley Street Grant House and for Massachusetts Avenue. Those funds are still, there's still some that were trickling in from Massachusetts. So before we can fully expend them, we have to just make a budgetary amendment to be able to use those funds, those grant funds that are being received. So all this to it.
Okay, is there anybody that'd like to comment on that? Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lippman is absent. Alderman Phillips,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford,
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, unfinished business, none. Other business, Mr. Patel, he's the man that owns the spirit shop, wine, liquor, whatever you call it, down at Walmart. And he's moved across the street. And so the certifications compliance, that has to be done pretty regular, but where he's moving across the street, this has to be done like a brand new business. This is done come through the planning and zoning. And Seth, is there anything you'd like to add to it?
You hit the nail on the head there. This is just a formality. He just has to go through a big background check and everything at the state level. And for the state to hear his background check and all that kind of stuff, the BMA just has to approve the certificate of compliance, which just means basically that he's not selling alcohol to minors, he's not doing illegal things or anything like that, which he's in good standing. So I just recommend to go ahead and approve this.
Okay.
Motion to approve?
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lippman is absent. Alderman Phillips,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford,
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, next ordinance is 348, and this is an ordinance for the town.
We're not there yet.
What we need.
We're at the financial report.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
10B,
Financial report.
financial report.
Yes, sir. I skipped you, sorry about that. He will explain how much money we have before we get into this, we're asking for money to spend.
That's exactly what I would have. Usually this happens at the end of the meeting, but before we vote on committing funds to purchasing equipment and stuff, I thought it was best that everybody know exactly where we stand with their finances, how much money we got. You know, Terry said it's none of his business. It actually is your business. It's public information. So I'm gonna go over some numbers of what we've got in our bank accounts and what our net income looked like for the month and that sort of thing. Real quick before we move on to new business items. First thing for the month of December, our revenue was $271,733. Our expenses were $111,644, which meant net income for December 2025 was $160,000. $160,088.76. Year to date, that puts us at negative $487,528.43. But we're coming up out of that Massachusetts hole, so that's good. For Mountain Harvest Kitchen, our revenue was $3,540. Our expenses were $4,870, which means that the Mountain Harvest Kitchen in December lost $1,329.78. Year to date, Mountain Harvest Kitchen has lost $20,312.50. I was working hard on that. And so then the second big piece here is looking at where our actual accounts stand, all things considered. So in our Mountain Commerce Bank checking account, as of 1/20, we have $555,913.80. In our Mountain Commerce Bank savings account, we have $1,073.67. In our Mountain Commerce Bank drug fund, we have $7,515.36. In our LGIP ARC fund, we have $1,342.63. In our LGIP Jack Snyder Endowment Fund, we have $117,721.84. In our LGIP General Investment Fund, we have $1,288,339.68. And in our First Horizon money market account, we have $436,554.89. That puts us at a grand total on deposit as of 1/20 at $2,408,461.87. So that's $2,408,461.87. So that's kind of where our balances stand. Our LGIP investment rate, and I'm just getting into this, even though if we do commit the funds to purchase this equipment, we won't have to touch any investment at this time. Just projecting out monthly expenses today, and how we kind of expend monthly. But anyway, our LGIP investment rate right now is at 3.84%, so it is dropping. We know that as the Fed drops rates, our investment rates will go down. Our First Horizon Bank money market rate is 2.544%, so it's not performing as well as our LGIP. So for some reason, if we do expend the funds and we do say, oh no, we need some more money, the funds will definitely come from our First Horizon Bank before they come from our LGIP investment funds. So I really, before you guys vote on committing to capital equipment purchases, I just wanted you to know exactly where we stand to the dollar as far as our bank accounts. And I will also recommend that purchasing this equipment would be beneficial for the town and would not be any kind of financial constraint on us. So that's my financial report, and that will need a motion to accept it.
Motion to accept the financial report.
Second.
Is there any other discussion, anything about the financial report? Anybody want to know any more numbers? Harry, you got all your numbers over there?
Tony needs a raise.
No, he didn't say that. I heard him whisper it.
7-0 is.
No, you just left, you got some financial stuff to work on this week.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so much of it has to be on reserve too, that we can't
Right,
let
we
go
have,
up
by
for
law,
the
we're
state.
required to have a month's worth of expenses, which we're planning to find more
If you pull money out of money market, is there
There's no penalty.
There's no penalty.
at. No, we would mature all of our CDs when Massachusetts was coming due, when we had to do all the Massachusetts work, we matured all of our CDs at that time. Those were on the maturity date, so there was no penalties or anything. We went over that at that time. But for a money market, there is no penalties. As long as we leave that threshold of the amount that has to stay in the money market to draw the interest, there's still no penalty, you just won't draw interest for a certain rate. We're way fine there too.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. I forgot that, but that's what we was gonna do, is tell everybody what we was up against before. All right, now we go on with this ordinance, 348.
But we gotta have a vote.
Oh, yeah, got a vote. Sorry about it, I get in a
I
hurry.
made the
I had
motion.
something,
One
so-
in Charles, motion and second, so,
Yeah.
without any other discussion, Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lemon is absent, Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford,
Yes,
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, now we can move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay, we got $15,000 going to the cabin, and that comes out of the Jack Snyder Fund, what has been left to the town, and that's the only thing it can be spent for. So we're gonna do that, and then we get that back, don't we, Seth?
No,
That comes out of that fund.
That comes out.
Okay, that's good. And then what we're gonna do on this equipment is, we're gonna put in our $310,000. And we're going a little high on it to make sure what we're gonna do, we're going for a mini excavator, tractor, sidearm mower, and a trailer. So we're thinking, you know what I mean, we'll be in good shape with that, so. Do we have a motion? Or do you want to say anything about that, Seth?
No, I was just gonna say, Terry should tell us some estimated numbers, what things would cost, and I can confirm those are pretty true, because I've done the check too. But no, I don't have anything to say other than, it's just, we're just reading that ordinance there, the ordinance of the county union board to amend the budget, that's all we're doing right now, to be able to apply those funds, and this is coming from our earnings, so it's not coming from revenues or anything like that, it's coming from what's already in the fund.
Yeah, we'll put this out over a 300-mile radius. So we'll be shopping around.
So I've got a question. Is one
mower enough, you think, for what we've got to do, since you're sort of the expert in here?
Who's better, once you start,
To start,
a lot of times you go out like on these John Deere's, go and say, I want to get good, I want a long arm, a short arm, you get them together, you'll get a better price than what we get here. But now, you don't have to get John Deere equipment, that's high equipment, you can get Fords down, Jonesboro, West Hill, they've got the long arm style. I would stay with those two. And Cody's got a lot of tractor, he can recommend what would be a good tractor.
I'll do on the recommend.
Now, let me ask you one thing, Terry, one salesman told me, I just want to know if it's true or not. So there's one particular, it's kind of like hybrid arm now, it's a machete, it's a Alamo, I think, Alamo machete.
Yeah, it's got different attachments.
Yeah, and it can be packed really tight and get right on the road, but it also can rotate 10 feet past.
I would look at one, but I've never checked, I've been at demos with them, they're fantastic. I know that Washington County, I think, got one. I don't know if Spring County got, what I would do is call around the highway department and see which one is done, let Tony and Mike, and you all just go look at it. I'd love to have one, because you can get the bush hog attachment, you get the tree trim attachment, you get the excavator attachment, you get, just like a Kubota, you get different attachments to it. Might be a little more, but you'll get probably maybe 2 or 3 into one tractor, you know. And if you got that, you might be able to just get this 5 more.
Well, that's what he was recommending, he was saying, if you use this, it's kind of like all-in-one, you don't need 2 right at the start.
Yeah.
They can go right beside the road, and go back and get the iron stuff.
My budget, I would love to have them, I mean, especially on the south end, on the ground, and they are 4-wheel drive.
And see, that's the reason we put a little bit higher number on than what we really felt like we needed to. Because, and this is gonna be a learning process. You know what I mean? So,
Now, anytime you buy Caterpillar stuff, you're gonna pay for it, you know that. But
We're just putting out specs, we've got in mind kind of what we want. One thing, Tony had got a picture of your tractors, your John Deere's, I think they're 580s and 580s or something, 590s, 59s.
595,
Yeah.
Ours is not 4-wheel drive, we're just looking at 2-wheel.
So would you recommend that we go with 4-wheel drive, or do you think 2-wheel drive will do it for the road? That wasn't, tell me, this is your question.
But yeah, I don't know.
4-wheel drive's good. I mean, I look to have them.
well, they're a whole lot more stable. They got more weight on that front end.
There's more weight on them, better going tractors, you know, you can get our 2-wheel drive. Once you get off the road with 2-wheel drive, you're off the road.
So you say 4-wheel drive is the way to go?
If you got the money to get that, I replace, I'm going with 4-wheel drive. When I get a chance to replace.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because one of the people I've called, I've talked to a lot of people, a lot of salesmen, the John Deere company over there, they're saying the replacement for what you guys have is the M59, and it's a 2-wheel drive. And that's what they're trying to sell, so that's not, you think we should go with 4-wheel drive?
You got, like I said, you got more roads to travel, and all that. And also, you can, on your lot, you can get what they call the back main roads, like the state has. There's a lot of roads on Massachusetts, going up towards Mr. Anderson, and up there, you can mow that, you don't even have to have a long run. I mean, you can wheel, go up, you can go to one side of it, go on, you might want to get one long arm, and then buy one of those, to do the on the ground, whatever, you know.
It'll be your own there, though, like you said, it's a learning curve.
Once you get into it, you get, then go and get the controls set up, get what you want to do. If you're a corner man, just be with them and do all that stuff, you know. You'll be surprised how, you be out here, you're gonna be a better off than what I'm having. I'm in the line from old dead for, right on all those high range mountains.
And this is just the first reading too, so, but we'll be prepared to open bids in early March if this passes. So we'll be ready to rock and roll.
I would call that, see, you've got one of those,
Machetes.
yeah, and go look at it, and I'll get some video, give them, send you some video. So there's a company that's got, it, say, look, I might be interested, you send me a CD, we put it up on screen, look at it.
Oh, they sent me a YouTube one to watch, we actually already watched it.
And they're fine, most highway departments, going, especially really Tennessee, they're all going to get on that.
some brain waste Hills has too, is that machete. And that's also, apparently John Deere stopped making their own sidearm now, because with the meat tractor now, they don't even carry a John Deere sidearm anymore, they carry a, I don't know, brand new now. Did they buy them all out or something like that?
That's wishy-washy everything.
But anyway, yeah, it's been a learning curve just trying to absorb all the stuff that you guys have to buy and go through constantly. It's like learning a whole new job, but yeah. But anyway, so this is just first reading that ordinance, so we're ready to, if somebody wants to make a motion to amend the budget.
I'll make a motion to amend it. Second.
Any more discussion?
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Newman is absent. Alderman Phillips,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford,
Yes,
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. All right, reports on the officers committee. We've got Austin Fitch with us here, Economic Development Board. Welcome.
Hello, sir. All right, so these updates be brief. Any other county officials in the room are more familiar about outside the scope of just the town of Unicoi. Just giving you some updates for what we're working on together. Specifically, the industrial expansion, the old IMC building, they have not yet closed. That should be happening next week. There was a delay, request of the bank, to get all things figured out, but still moving forward. Still looking to try to push some incentives into their hands as well from the state. They have not yet put an application, but we're still going to try to encourage that to help their expansion as best we can. And then also, we're working on very warmly for the Second Street Industrial Site in Irwin. They've contacted the state of Tennessee directly to help with relocating their business from the state of Indiana. This could open up some new opportunities for us because, site selectors carry things in a very numbers-based approach. In this case, they're asking for 20 acres, we have 16. Normally, if the site selector was involved, we'd be pushed out of the process before we can make our case more broadly. So hopefully we can hear and hopefully get some investment in that Second Street site, bringing 200 jobs in this case to the county. Secondly, though, this is a lead, it's a good lead, but far from being done. We're still moving forward with working on getting a spec building, pre-built building that we could then rent out to tenants, bring jobs in that way. There are more available jobs for pre-built locations that people lease than there are for new builds. So we just had a call from USDA this week, and they might be able to help provide a substantial amount of our match to get this building in place. So there's a chance that we can get this up and running for no cost to the county, and that will enhance the jobs we bring in. Also, Seth and I last month before the holidays met and discussed ways that we can work to try to vision something, a landmark project that economic development works on behalf of the town of Unicoi. And kind of what I've heard from the mayor, what I've heard from Seth, it seems like enhancing the downtown district is a major priority, and there's a clear path to do that. First it'd be starting with the Tennessee Downtowns program through ECD, that then becomes the Main Street program. Through the same channel, we just brought in $300,000 to invest in Irwin's downtown because they've done this program already. We'll have to initiate that program here to be eligible for those kind of funds. Being a first-time applicant would help us too later down the road. There are also other types of grants attached to these programs, and it strengthens your applications for money that can help us get things like sidewalks. Also, part of this needs to be a master plan of sorts, and we have a great consultant we work with to help us plan these different features. I'm also trying to find funds to pay for that plan. There's not as many as I was hoping there would be. So right now I'm trying to put together a step-by-step proposal. I'm working on working with Seth. We'll be laying out what we need from you all and when and how to activate this, if it's something that you would like to approach. But generally, I think as we talk about making the town of Unicoi a town, it's a town that's younger than I am, how do we make it this? And it needs to have a more concrete downtown that's more visible and kind of decides and declares who we are here. And we can start making a lot of projects to that, that can kind of get the right kind of growth here and, enhance the amenities for those who live in this part of the county. It's going to be a work in progress and to lay out the dates, the times, the money involved, but, generally, I'm going to start with the Tennessee Downtowns program, see what will be required, and then bring that in here first run by Seth, see what's required, see what can be done, and then try to bring that in here or in a workshop or discussion, and decide if we're gonna move forward with that option.
And then they were talking about there's grants now for planning.
So there are some, it's just finding what we can get sooner. You know, ARC does a lot of planning help. Problem is that funding cycle is sort of later in the year. So if you want to do something quickly, we don't have to wait. There's a scenario here where we wait 6 months to even start applying to the thing that then we can start planning with. So it kind of decides what's our urgency, what are the costs to get to the end of these things. I need to learn more about what's included in the downtowns programs process. I've learned a lot about the Main Street program. I think the downtown, they bring in some of the other consultative things to help with the planning piece. I need to get them some more specifics from them on that. And really want to break down what that'll look like. And then just kind of lay it out step by step. But having a program like that in place strengthens our applications for other grants, even if they're CDBG grants, things like for sidewalks. Irwin was just awarded a lot of money for sidewalk improvements himself this year. So going with those same programs, the same kind of reasoning, I think could serve well our little downtown district here.
Okay, and then they had grants. We were trying to get grants. They said they had them to do murals on our bridges out here, you know, on what comes into Unicoi Drive, and then Malley's Bridge down on the old road. So if you got any ideas on that?
There will be one coming up soon. It's called the ABC grant from the Tennessee Art Commission. I think it's Art Betters Communities that can be used for that. You know, anything like that. There's another cycle that's already just passed, unfortunately, for creative placemaking, same Tennessee Arts Commission. There are different programs. We can get all these things teed up in there. The First Tennessee Development District also offers something small to, it's like $5,000. Some of these murals will cost a lot more. So getting in on their list will be good. Somebody get them to follow through on that with me too. City of Elizabethton was kind enough to share a list of all their mural artists. So we can kind of start to price that stuff out too.
Oh, that's the biggest thing is the artists, because the First Tennessee Development District, one that Kevin and I met with earlier, that $5,000, we were going to be fine with that, but we ran into a problem actually getting an artist to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so that was, we wanted the high school to help us do it. We were going to pay the high school kids and let them put their artwork on. It was a really good idea Kevin had. Let high school kids do it, that way forever they can say this was our art there. And they kind of balked out us on that and find another artist. Yeah. So that's big for us really, is having a list of artists.
You know, what we want to do on that, we'd like to tell the story of the town. You know, like Malley's Bridge, that's a Class A trout stream, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would like enhance that and keep people from throwing trash out. You know, you look at it and say, wow, that looks good, you know, that's nice. And then on this one down here, we'd like to do like things, the story of the town, like, you know, the farmers, you know what I mean, tomatoes, strawberries.
Now one thing about
You know,
that, though, that's a state bridge though. I don't know if we would be.
And we paint it when they ain't looking.
What's happened during all this flood work, it makes me think that's the best approach. Just do it. Stop you. Sorry. I think we gotta say this outside of meetings for plausible design, do what you say, you know?
Yeah.
But there are ways that Johnson City, when they created the interstate bridge, similar regulations and things, there's ways to make it happen, just by kind of pulling those levers. Yeah, there's so many chances here to tell those stories. This is such a great location for the wilderness, the most easy to connect to the wilderness town I've seen. You know, you've got trails right there, rivers, streams, or not rivers, but you know, streams, creeks. Yeah, I mean, well, you know, Seth and I were talking about, I'm not trying to speak too much about what I would want, because this would have to be a broad process in the downtown planning to decide what people actually want. You gotta bring in your surveys, you gotta have committees, the whole bit. But getting like a gateway arch to the national forest and declaring that, you know, Unicoi is the gateway to the forest and to the wilderness is something that would be really cool and set us apart. You know, but generally having sidewalks and, you know, just making it a defined point with those basic things like lampposts, signage, and just the little things would immediately improve that area and then hopefully bring in some new investment. You know, I know there's some blighted property we'd like to see, you know, things down there. We need to start recruiting a coffee shop. a key thing to anchor down your town and the population. And there is, I think, a business case there for people who are going and accessing the forest would need, a pit stop like that. Yeah, so things like that, I think targeting and being specific will kind of provide the value we're looking to provide at the county employee as a difference maker.
Well, it's like in Irwin, the street lights and the Christmas lights on them and stuff, it looks like a town.
Yeah.
And, people to complain about the speed through Unicoi. It's just like my wife says, people speed because it just looks like the rest of the highway.
Yeah.
And then like on this bridge down here when people sit in traffic, like if you could have murals that kind of told the story of the town and the businesses that's in it.
Yeah.
And what the town's all about. People sit there and go, wow, cool,
Yeah.
So that's just a thought, and that's things that we'd like to work on and develop.
Well, let's do it. We'll, as part of this, we'll create a plan for grants too. We'll lay all the projects that are in this master plan, what we're chasing. And then we'll say, here are the grants that do that, here are their application deadlines, and then ultimately where the matching funds be, or if we can pair some together hopefully and, limit the matching funds required. But yeah, so, grand vision decided by the people of the town and the financing plan, and then we'll put it in action. And piece by piece, it won't be overnight, but piece by piece, we'll then one thing after the other.
And we'll just have to tell her we kidnapped you for a while.
Please kidnap me. Yeah, I'm ready to kidnap.
I got a question,
Go ahead.
Austin. I kept hearing that now that you're looking at the land in Unicoi County when you popped over, where is it?
So, really popular known location, most likely the town of Unicoi. Last I've heard that they're gonna be moving forward with that acquisition, of that property behind Walmart. But that is an unofficial bit of news and has not been moved forward in a way that I can announce to any media outlets or anything here, but that seems like what's going to happen. Behind Walmart. Yeah. And it's the most likely thing. Fingers crossed they follow through on that. Fingers crossed that, yeah, nothing is on paper yet for that. But I think that brings up an excellent point. There's a rumor I think is pretty well known, so I don't put a have too out of the bag here. But, because then somebody else will keep that. But that brings new chances for you. There's a bunch of developable land there, and what sort of businesses follow that? What kind of business do we want to target? Do we, and I think it's a big thing we got to ask ourselves because, looking at the liquor store there, no issues with the new building being placed, no issues with business of whatever type. There's still that we could have done more with that land. We have one little building in the middle there. If we're more deliberate, we can target what growth for all that hospital. Yeah. So fingers crossed all that comes together. Big win for Unicoi, big win for the county. We can just keep that. Here not have to go to Johnson City.
And you said the warehouse is closing next week?
I thought it was earlier, but yeah, next week is what I was told. Today. Yeah. But,
They seem to be in there working somewhat.
well, yeah, that's happening, but not officially. Yeah, some things are going. They're moving with permission from the carriers.
Yeah, I was just like seeing that working, they're on top of things.
Yep, things are moving forward, and it feels like that momentum is happening a lot. I think people are ready for this to be a big year for this county. We dealt with enough in the last year, so, yep. All right, any other questions? All right, we'll be hoping to bring you some proposals soon and laying out some real deadlines and timelines. Thank you. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Austin.
Appreciate you.
Okay, Historic Association Lisa's not here.
I think she said that they really not gonna have any activities this month. This is kind of waiting and redo for the next time. So they probably haven't had that much, I would think. Jenna may know.
Probably just after the Christmas event. I don't think everything's been planned till the spring, so it's something that she wanted to report related to that.
And I tell you, Christmas down there, they had that fixed up beautiful. They spend a lot of time down there. A lot of hard work. I got pictures of it and people go, where's that at? I said, just right down here. So it's a good thing. All right. Planning Commission.
All righty. The Planning Commission met on January 5th, 2026. Under new business was discussion action for compliance renewal application for Godum Hotel for property located at 597 Tinker Road. The board voted unanimously to approve the renewal application. The new location does not change any zoning. It is just across the road from where it was already located, where it's already located now. Discussion on Black Diamond parking area. Their site plan for parking lot has expired. It is not in compliance with what we had agreed on. Said town reporter has communicated with them, and they are to come before the board next month. Is that
Accurate.
okay? The planning board also had a productive workshop on January 7th, along with the BMA and zoning board, on updating our zoning ordinance to add any corrections before final vote. And then also the Board of Zoning Appeals did not have a meeting for lack of agenda items.
Okay, thank you, Wanda. Okay, now, we've got the Mountain Harvest Kitchen, Michaela.
Yes, sir. I'm Michaela Brook. I'm the director of the Mountain Harvest Kitchen. I just have a brief update for you for December. In December, we had 36 active members. We did 4 tours, which resulted in 1 new client, which is Bougie Boards. So they've come aboard. We had 1 class in December that was a free community event hosted by the Unicoi County Library. They did a Christmas cookie class. In December, we had 114 kitchen hours with 2 processing clients. We're out of the market season until May, so that's kind of what we're looking for, just because we're not in market season. So to compare the year, so from December last year to this December was 15% down in total revenue, which of course was from the decrease of the hours rented. Compared to last month, so November compared to December, December is a 4% increase in total revenue compared to November. So that's a summary of December's update for the kitchen. Next one.
You good? Okay. Michaela, she's gonna take you away with the parks, marketing, communications.
Yes, sir. Again, I'm Michaela Brook. I'm the Director of Communications and Park and Rec. Only one thing to really let you know about. So we are doing the pilot season for our Unicoi Winter Market. We're doing a series of 6 events, 2 per month in the months of January, February, and March. We had our first market on January 16th, which resulted in, we had 66 attendees and we had 8 vendors. In order to have the event and promote the event, we did our best to do zero-cost marketing. So we relied on our community and, of course, free options for advertising. One big point of our market, one of the things we want to do is really promote the kitchen. So it acts as free advertising to promote our kitchen, as well as the clients that we had. We had 3 clients participate, so they were able to truly promote Unicoi Made, because it's made right over there, and the market's in this room. Our next market is January 30th, so next Friday. We'd love if everybody could come out. We're increasing from 8 vendors, we're going up to 10 on that Friday, so we would love if you could join us.
Okay. Are we ready for police department?
Well, sir,
Yeah.
I don't have any numbers this evening, but I will let you know we have answer numbers called at Walmart for trespassing and shoplifting and assisted with that. We assisted the U.S. Probation and Parole Office the other night with the rest of the person they're looking for. Their location here in Newport. We've had several calls. I think with animal control, we've had several calls with adult protective services that we've handled in the last month.
Thank you very much. Okay. Seth, you want to do the court report?
For December, they collected 4 payments for $620. That's all court.
Okay. Recorder report.
So I'd just like to take a moment to thank our outgoing county clerk. A lot of people sitting here know that Carolyn Klaus is retiring. So I did just want to thank her for all her hard work and cheerful countenance. That she shows everyone that walks through the door, you know, she's never met a stranger, everybody knows her when they walk in, and everybody really knows her when they leave. So her last day will be January the 30th, and I will miss her. She's currently training her replacement. Her replacement's name is Jane Williams, and she seems to be picking up things rather quickly, so that's positive. So if you all are out and about near town hall, stop in and welcome Jane and wish Carolyn a happy retirement. Second, I think that Kayla really should be commended for her efforts organizing the winter market. You know, that was solely her brainchild, and to see it all set up and flowing in this little conference space was remarkable, really. The way that it was organized and flowing, and I think all the vendors enjoyed their time. I think Kayla deserves commended for her job on that. Lastly, former BMAs and city reporters deserve praise for their financial preservation of town funds that now afford us with the ability to be more self-sufficient. Without their foresight and planning, we wouldn't be sitting on the cash reserve to fund the previously mentioned equipment. So I did want to give a lot of thanks tonight. So that's all I got.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Don't have to approve that, okay.
And I'd like to say, I appreciate Michaela. This winter market, she's very creative, and she's brought a lot to the table. And people said, well, what does she do? I said, what does she do? I mean, this kitchen over here, that's a nightmare, and she's running it like a business. She's a business person, and I think we're very fortunate to have her. Thank you.
And I came to that, and I really enjoyed it. I made myself with the ice cream cone. It was delicious. I got a cookie and ate every bit of that, so I'll probably be back.
Yeah, and I was busy. I laid out.
You need to try the cookie. That'll draw you in.
Okay, are we ready to adjourn?
Just a few announcements.
Is that it?
Few announcements, that's it. So, town offices will be closed on Monday, February 16th, in observation of President's Day. The next planning commission / board of zoning appeals meeting will be held on Monday, February the 2nd, right here at 5:30. There will be a BMA workshop on Wednesday, February 11th at 2 p.m. right here to discuss the Strawberry Festival planning. And then our next BMA meeting will be held on another Thursday, February 19th, because of President's Day, right here at 5:30.
Okay, we got a citizen here. Let's
Yeah, let me mention one thing, Bill. You're the senior, Mike. David Hall, we'll get out here in a minute, who used to be our representative, Renee is now. But he is coming with a bill in the legislature to get state funds for roads. I don't know if that is just for state roads, or it'll filter down to the counties or to the cities. Somebody may want to contact him and just see what the depth of that bill is going to be.
You know anything about it, Terry?
I know that any kind of state funding comes on state roads, they won't take state funding unless it's like state aid roads like I was talking about. But I'm going to be in Nashville, Monday morning, and I'll be with him, I'll bring it and see if that's what I'm doing. I've heard some of them talking about the bills, but I think it's awful still. That's what I'm doing.
Good. Ready to adjourn?
Ready? Motion adjourned.
Second.
Anybody opposed? Strike that gavel.
Everybody good? Thank y'all.
Let's see.
Yes.
Roger?
Good.
Just tell them to see the difference.
How did it end up getting on the agenda?
I probably forgot Kevin said it was too much.